So last class we have done a practical of creating framework application. Today we are going to create implementation application on top of the framework which we have created in the last class. Okay. So now you are going to do a practical. Just write down, I mean to say, like, we are going to do a practical. Just write down in the notes the requirement. Write down the requirement. Working with creating new application. That's what we are going to work on today. After this practical is over, we will get into theory part. Okay, everyone should write. You can write in phone, no problem. You bring a notebook every day, otherwise you write in note. Working with creating new application. Okay, this is what we are going to learn today also. Write down the requirement. Create a new implementation application. On top of the existing framework application. In braces you can write down what was the application we created. You remember Geico Insurance Group. On top of the existing framework application, Geico Insurance Group. This implementation application is for processing auto insurance or vehicle insurance. Is for processing vehicle insurance or auto insurance, you can say your wish. You can say vehicle or auto, your wish. 6/22. November 18. This is a practical document for today. See, now you are going to follow the same navigations which you have followed in the last class. In the last session on Friday, whatever the navigations that you have followed, the same navigations you are going to follow today also. So, but while following these navigations, you will come across 3 additional screens than what we have seen in the past. These 3 additional screens, we are not going to do anything. Just we will pass on by clicking on next. I will show you. See, if you want to create any application, always I said you log in using default credentials only. See, by this time you have framework application credentials, correct? But do not log in using framework application credentials to create implementation, which you can actually do, but don't do it for some reasons, because you are a beginner, you don't understand even if I tell you. So always prefer to go with default credentials anytime if you want to create a new application. So I will log into Pega using default credentials of administrator@pega.com, password install. Administrator@pega.com and password is install. These credentials you are aware of. Okay. And using these credentials I am trying to log in. Okay, after you log into administrator, you can tell me the navigation now. What is the navigation? Click on application menu and then choose new application. Choose what? New application. Where is application menu? Pega platform this, and choose new application. This is what you are going to do. As usual thing as you have done in the last class. So at this screen, at this particular screen, in the last class, you remember, in the last class, you created your application by clicking on build from scratch, which means that you have created your application on top of Pega platform, and afterwards you have chosen the options like framework option like that. But now you do not want your application to be created on top of Pega platform. Instead, you want to create your application on top of Geico Insurance Group. So where do you click? Click on Geico Insurance Group. Click on Geico Insurance Group so that your application gets created on top of Geico Insurance Group FW app. Understand clear everyone? So I'm going to click on that. As I told you, you will get 3 additional screens in this wizard compared to the previous time when we run it for framework, build from scratch. Build from scratch to other options will give 3 different screens. Look at here now. This screen we did not experience in the past. That is, see, it is very simple. This screen says that you have chosen an application type of Geico Insurance Group. You wanted to create your application on top of Geico Insurance Group. Are you okay to proceed building your application with Geico Insurance Group, or you want to go back and select something else? I don't want to go back and select something else. I want to proceed with building with Geico Insurance Group. I am going to click on build with Geico Insurance Group. Build with Geico Insurance Group. Click on build with. ఈరోజు ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ అనేది ఓకే బిల్డ్ విత్ గైకో ఇన్సూరెన్స్ గ్రూప్ 9 o'clock లోపే రావాలి మీరు. Next, after this you see here case types. It is saying that do you have any predefined case types that you want to access here? See, actually as a beginner so far you don't know what is a case type. First of all, that's the reason why I did not tell you any case types thing in the framework. So as you do not know here, nothing to do, you just do what? Click on continue. We will be practically creating case types going forward in our business requirements, okay, further development. So, and at this similarly it is saying that do you have any data types to clone? No, I don't have any data types because I don't know what is the data type at this moment. So I will just continue here. I will create data types later in the future business requirements. That's what I told you. When you click on build from scratch, the 3 screens which you have not seen are coming when you click on other place. When you click on framework applications, when you click on framework application, you are getting something else. You are getting some 3 screens. Actually you don't have to bother 3 screens, you just need to proceed continue. Okay, now here you go. Now it is asking, okay, you are trying to create one application on top of Geico Insurance Framework. Very good. What is the name of your application this time? I want to give the name as Geico Auto Insurance. Geico Auto Insurance. Auto means it can be any type of auto. It can be an auto, I mean like a vehicle of personal use, a vehicle of commercial use, or a vehicle which you use, which is a heavy truck like that vehicles. Okay, so Geico Auto Insurance is the name, and click on advanced configuration, same as last class, advanced configuration. But in the last class when we click on advanced configuration, we have modified the option, that is implementation option to framework option at the application structure. We are not going to do that now. What is the reason we are not going to do? Last time we wanted to create framework application, that's why we have modified. This time I do not want to create framework, I want to create implementation only. Whatever the type of application I wanted to create, the same type I am getting here at the implementation. So I don't have to change the option from implementation to framework. I'll keep the option as it is. Though I have kept the option as it is, I have given the screenshot highlighted because you have to make an observation while you are practicing. While you are practicing, just make an observation that you are trying to create implementation application. Make sense everyone following online students? Clear, right? Okay, now look at here. See, the idea of this application is Geico Auto. Framework application ID is Geico INSU, something like that. INS, Geico INS something. Implementation application ID is Geico Auto. Good. I'm not changing it. Organization name. Again, as usual process, it is generating a random name of organization and random name for organization of implementation application. See, I'll tell you, practically speaking, it is possible to have recording out. 1 minute, hold on, please. కింద యాక్ట్
564 వచ్చింది కదా మనకి రిమైండర్ అది చేయాలి.
ఎందుకని
నెట్వర్క్ రావట్లేదు, అదే మెయిన్ నెట్వర్క్.
ఒక అన్ని రౌటర్స్ ఏనా? రెండు ఉంటాయి కదా కనెక్షన్స్ కంపల్సరీ.
రెండు లేదు, 2 రౌటర్ పెట్టాము, ఒక మెయిన్ లింక్.
అంతేనా? అర్జెంట్గా చేయాలా? ఒకసారి ఫోన్ ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్ట్
చేసుకున్నారు.
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే, క్లాస్ అయిన తర్వాత చేయనా? ఇప్పుడు చేసేనా? ఓకే, జస్ట్ గివ్ మీ 2 minutes టైం ప్లీజ్. అంటే 9,000 బిల్ కదా?
9,000.
ఎన్ని కనెక్షన్స్ పెట్టాను? డెడికేటెడ్ కనెక్షన్ ఒకటి పెట్టాను కదా, రౌటర్లు మాత్రం పెట్టాను.
3 రౌటర్లు.
జస్ట్ హోల్డ్ ఆన్ ఎ మినిట్ ప్లీజ్, దేర్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ అర్జెంట్ ఇన్ దట్ యాక్టివ్ ఫోన్. ఇది కూడా అవ్వట్లేదు. ఓకే, నేను చేసి చెప్తాను. ఇప్పటికైతే వాళ్ళు చెప్తా ఉంటారా? చెప్పావా? చెప్పాలి. ఓకే, you see here now. Yeah, please be on mute. Someone please mute from your end. Okay, I'm going to mute all and unmute once myself. Okay, thank you for muting. Okay, look at here now. See, organization name, a random name generated. As usual process, a random name got generated for organization. The thing is that, see, it is practically speaking, it is possible to have different organization names for each application, but I am talking about the usual best practice that we follow in real time. Okay, when we are creating a framework by ourselves and on top of it an implementation by ourselves, in such scenario, in real time applications also they use same organization for FW and IMPL apps. It is a practice. But you know one thing, at the time of creating framework application, do you remember we have created framework application? At the time of creating framework application, we have created organization. That means at the time of creating framework application, we have mentioned a name to the organization that is being created. So now, while creating implementation, again you don't have to create. You should use the existing organization. You should be using the existing organization. At the time while creating implementation, you should use the existing organization. Which has been created while creating framework. So you don't have to manually type here. Instead, what you need to do is, you just click the down arrow on your keyboard. The organization name should come in the list here. So is it there in the list, yes or no? It is there in the list means already available organization you are using. If it is not there in the list, you are going to type it manually so that new organization gets created. But we typed the name Geico while creating framework, so Geico organization got created. This time we are just manually choosing the name. Sorry, we are choosing the name from drop down. Understand clear everyone? Now Geico auto work, these things I'll tell you later, and then click on save. Clear? Makes sense everyone? Clear? So we are trying to use the same organization for implementation also, which is there for framework. So now framework and implementation will come from a common organization. Organization means organization is a topmost business entity or company which has the entire business. In a business organization, you can have different divisions. Under divisions, you can have units. The typical and basic organization structure is organization division unit, which I am going to explain you after this session. After this practical is over, I am going to explain you that. Okay, click on save. Once you click on save, you will be back to this screen. So what did we do today? We thought of creating one implementation application on top of existing Geico application. So we went to new application wizard. We clicked on Geico insurance framework so that your implementation gets created on top of Geico insurance framework, and we proceeded next. In the advanced configuration, we retained the option of implementation as it is, and we have chosen the organization name which has been created while creating framework. For this implementation and that framework, common organization we are using. Keep this in point in mind because this will be used going forward. Okay, and now click on create application. See, it is possible that framework and implementation can have different organization names. It is possible to have. When you have different names, you should do additional configurations afterwards in future. So to avoid that, I did not do it. So click on create application and wait. It will create application. It will create application. It will create. This time it won't create a new organization because it is using the existing organization. It won't create anything new. Okay, here you go now. So here you're going to provide your ID. See, now we have two applications overall in our system. One is framework application, another one is implementation application. We already have one developer login ID for our framework application with a password. The same ID can be used here also. Means one login ID to access two different applications possible. But I am not going to do it. I am going to create a different login ID for implementation. In future, we will see how to use the common login for different applications. So now I am typing dev IMPL developer operator. I am going to create for my implementation application, which is Geico domain, geico.com. Understand clear, everyone? So click on add, click on add, click on add. So once you click on add, you need to copy these credentials. You need to copy these credentials. Copy these credentials, please. Copy this. Here you go. Okay. So keep it with you and then log off. Then you do what? Log off. You don't have to be here further because you got your own ID and password for your application. You can log off. Now, if I log into implementation application, let me show you. Now log into implementation application, implementation app. So let me log in. What is the ID? ID I can easily remember, but password I can't remember. So I copied it somewhere. It will prompt for changing the password. What is the ID? devimpl@geico.com. devimpl@geico.com, and then click on login. The moment you click on login, no, it will ask you to change the password. As you cannot remember this password, I had kept it copied. So it is going to now ask you current password. I'll give the copied password here. Current password. And the new password is, I'm giving rules. I'm giving what? Rules. Change password. Click on change password. I'm sorry. Hey, you are getting something like this. It's a problem with my system. Some of you feel it, I'll give you the solution. Don't worry. When you after, okay, now password is changed. My app studio has some issue. I'll tell you how to solve this later. If you anyone faces, send me the screenshot. I'll give you the solution. I need to follow something here. I'll tell you. No worries. Just give me 1 minute. You'll not be facing this issue and all. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to do something which is not related to your session now. Because I have to show you plain and clean screen, I'm going to follow some workaround to fix that particular issue. Okay, it is not opening here. I'll do one thing. It's not the appearance of UI gone for some reason which you do not know. This is not related to your regular session, whatever I'm going to do now. You can ignore this part in the practical. The administrator credentials I'm going to put. Administrator@pega.com, password install. You do not know about all these things, so you never need to follow while practicing. If you are getting similar screen like me, try to follow. It is not required actually. Okay, it is not required. Sorry. Okay, to follow these things. Now I am going back. So our implementation application. So, yeah, in regular development you can use same operator ID for framework implementation, no problem. In your office, dev IMPL @geico.com, password rules, and then click on login. So still same issue should not happen. It will be a difficult thing if the issue passes. I know how to resolve this, but this is not right time to go with that. Fully to resolve, I have to do something in my database and restart the server. Please mute someone. Your voice is not so clear. If you're talking something to me, just please message it on the WhatsApp. It's not that if you use same ID, you'll face the issue. Any ID you use, you will face the issue. Last time it was pretty much clear, right? When we log into framework application, it was pretty much clear. I can solve this issue after some time also, no problem. I can explain you rest of the session with framework login. We will see. The framework also same thing going to happen. That will be a problem, right? Okay, so this is pretty much plain and clear. Actually, when you log in, that other studio is not getting opened for me. If you log in your case, where you will land on to generally, after you click on change password, you'll go to App Studio. Where you go? From App Studio, you should switch to Dev Studio. I'll be talking about App Studio later, because as of now, my App Studio has some issue like this. I'll talk about this later. So we'll be back to Dev Studio only. We'll be using as of now what? Dev Studio. I'll just go to Dev Studio. See, you can switch from App Studio to Dev Studio from this icon. So you will get into App Studio, switch to Dev Studio by clicking on this one. Okay, I'll write down that here. So you will get into App Studio. From there, switch to Dev Studio. Dev Studio. Okay. So like this, if you select the option at top and click on Dev Studio, you will be landing into Dev Studio. I am going to show you something here. So after you come to Dev Studio, click on App Explorer. Click on App Explorer. In the App Explorer, you need to click on what? App Explorer. On the leftmost side, you can see there. Click on App on left panel. Left panel, you have App. This will be loaded. I want to show you something here. What is that? By login to my implementation application, I can see here I have access to a total of 3 applications. How many applications I have access to? 3. Why 3 applications? You have logged into implementation, right? So you need to understand this, and this is what we are going to use regularly. We are never going to log into framework, but we will access framework. How you will access framework, you know? by login to implementation application itself, you can also access framework because that is a built on application for implementation. Implementation is built on top of framework. By login to implementation, you can access frame implementation as well as framework as well as Pega platform also, because framework is implemented on top of Pega platform. By login to higher level application, you can access all lower level applications. Okay, that's why it is showing 3 applications. First application is where you have logged in. I have logged into Geico Auto Insurance. I have logged into Geico Auto Insurance. I can access Geico Auto Insurance application, plus I can also access Geico Insurance Group, plus I can access Pega platform. I'll just tell you something. See, if I want to create any component in implementation application, after login to implementation application, if I want to create any component in implementation, I can create very well, no problem. Now, by login to implementation application, I want to create a component in the framework application. In the framework application, can I do that or not? What do you think? Can I do that, or should I have to log into framework?
Yes, we can.
Do it. We can do it. That's the reason why I did not use the same login here. If I use the same login here, you feel like framework login you have used. That's why you are able to access framework. Now I am not using framework login. By login to implementation application, you can create something inside framework because implementation application has the visibility to see framework and to access framework. Understand? We are no more going to use framework login ID at all. Okay, you don't have to create 2 IDs actually. For framework, if you don't even have created, no problem. With implementation itself, you can access framework also. From the environment of implementation, you can access the environment of framework as well. Balaji, what is the question? You can type here, no problem. You can type or you can ask. What is the question or doubt? Are you clear? Because you raised your hand.
Harsha, one question. So if
Yes,
we
please.
log in with the framework credentials, in that case also we can access implementation
No.
application, right?
See, if you log into framework, you can access framework, plus it is built on Pega platform. No, you can access Pega platform. You cannot
Okay.
access any of the implementation. See, framework acts as a parent, implementation acts as a child. Child can access from parent, but not vice versa. Okay, that's a point of inheritance. It's a concept of inheritance. Okay, implementation can access framework, framework, and so on. A framework can access its framework, but not its implementations. Okay. Now I am going to explain you. See, I log into my app framework application also once, just to explain. devfw@geico.com. Geico.com. Here also App Studio is not loading or what? Let me cross check whether in the framework application also, if App Studio is not loading, then no problem. If it is not loading, I can explain you. It's not loading, but still I can explain you, no problem. Okay, I am trying to switch to Dev Studio, but it is not working in case of framework. There is no log off also. In Dev Studio also, it's some failure. Okay, no problem. I'll just go into implementation. Give me 1 minute. HTTP localhost PR web PR server, right? I log into implementation and explain you the concept. Dev IMPL@geico.com password rules. Okay, now you will get into developer studio of your implementation. There are different studios which I am going to explain you now. So studios, or you call workspaces. What do you call? Workspaces. Okay, anything you can call, mainly studios. These are called as portals also. Studios also can be called as portals, which I'll tell you later in detail. Studios are also called as portals. These are actually portals only. Studios are, I'll write down. Studios are actually studios are technically called as portals. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what are the studios. When we create a new application, below portals gets created. Okay, first one, App Studio. Second one, Dev Studio. Defaultly Pega will create. We are going to use all this admin studio, not prediction studio. We are not going to use prediction studio. That is for decisioning purpose. And fourth one is user portal. The name itself has user portal, something like that, right? Remaining have studio. Studios are for developer purpose. User portal is for purpose of end users. End users will use this. End users will be using this. First three, developers are going to use first three. Okay. So one more is there actually, fifth one, Prediction Studio. What is that? Prediction Studio. The fifth one is being used by, I'll give you for your information. Fifth one will be used by developers only, but they are decisioning developers. What is that? Decisioning developers. Okay, that's a different course, separate course. Now coming to App Studio, Dev Studio, Admin Studio, all this we will practically use. What is the main difference between App Studio and, see, App Studio and the Dev Studio which you are seeing here, no? This is what Dev Studio are seeing, no? App Studio and Dev Studio both are for development purpose only. Development purpose, which means that we will be implementing functional components. Those are called as rules. Here, what do you call those? Any functional component you create is called as rule. You want to create a screen. Example, we can create a screen. Using App Studio or Dev Studio. Both we can do. See, App Studio is for express development. What is that? Express development. What do you mean by express development? What is your understanding? In a quick way compared to Dev Studio. Generally, that's why the portal name also you'll see PX Express Studio, like that you'll see. Later I will show you, not in detail now, just for your understanding. But App Studio is for express development, where it can provide a development environment of developing basic needs like application creation, like I'll show you. Application creation, okay. 2, case type. 3, data type. 4, screens, okay. And some fifth one, data transform. You don't know what is data transform, okay, minimum. So using App Studio, as of today, I'm talking about using App Studio, we can do minimum development, okay. So Dev Studio is full pace of development. So full pace of development means you can develop anything using Dev Studio. For example, all of the above which were mentioned at the App Studio can be created using Dev Studio as well. plus additionally we can create, I'll tell you some rules. I'll give you activities. Okay, we can create for example security rules. Okay, we can customize flows. Sixth one, customize flows. Just give me 1 minute. Security rules, declarative rules. What is that? Declarative rules, and even more, and everything. I'll write down everything. You can do anything and you can do everything using Dev Studio. In simple sentence, we can do anything and everything using Dev Studio. Okay, using App Studio we can do limited things using App Studio. But let me tell you why Pega has two studios for same purpose. If you take App Studio is just something subset of Dev Studio. Why Pega should come up with a subset? Unnecessary, right? This is for future purpose. In future, I'll write down. In future, Dev Studio is meant for citizens development. You know what? Citizens development plus CSA and CSSA developers will be using. Okay, so they will improve the App Studio going forward up to certain extent. Citizen means business person. You are the business owner, you can use App Studio and create something. See, App Studio is going to give you an easiest way of development compared to Dev Studio, even easiest. Okay, we'll be practically experiencing that. Dev Studio in future, Dev Studio is going to be used only by lead system architects. Who are those? Lead system architects. As of today, I am talking about in future means upcoming 4 years, 3 years. Okay, coming 2+ years, we say they may improve this App Studios a lot by next 2+ years. Maybe it will take, my guess is it will take around 3 to 4 years minimum to get it to up to some extent. Okay, so in future Pega plan is Dev Studio means only LSA will be given access, because internal development should be done by LSAs only. High level development should be done by CSS, CSS, and even business people also some extent. That's their
Harsha,
intention.
sorry.
Hold on. Terminology also differs. Same thing what you call in Dev Studio, its terminology will be different in Dev App Studio going forward. I mean, not only going forward, now also you can experience that. So while practically working here, we'll start with Dev Studio. In between, we'll start using App Studio whenever possible. What is the question you're trying to ask?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You write Dev Studio instead of.
Come again?
You write Dev Studio instead of App Studio on that line right there.
I'm sorry. My mistake. In future, App Studio is meant for in future it is actually today also App Studio is meant for citizens development, but in future it will be meant only for CSA, CSSA developers, and Dev Studio is going to be used only by LSA, lead system architects. That's what the idea of Pega systems, to make it available only for LSAs. But here we will work and learn up to LSAs level, no worries. We will be using Dev Studio for internal design and development, and at the same time we are going to use App Studio as well whenever it is possible, mostly. And we will be working on Pega 24.2. okay, that time also we'll use only App Studio. We'll restrict, see, for now we'll learn both, but while working on 24 we will restrict ourselves. We'll take a promise that we want to do everything from App Studio only. That's what we take from promise, because in future going forward you should learn to use App Studio. Okay, more. That's what Pega is going to restrict developers to use App Studio. You're an LSA, use Dev Studio. That's what their intention. But App Studio today has only 10 to 15% of development things compared to Dev Studio, but in future it will be improved. Okay, now coming to this one. Okay, further I'm going to tell you about some theory part. organization structure. What is that? Organization structure. See, I am going to tell you and give you information about organization structure to give you idea about real world. To give you idea about real world. If you go anywhere in this world into any business, this concept is universal concept. Same is being used in Pega also. Without knowing this also, you can start learning further things. But it is good that you learn something fundamentals. See, an organization structure typically will have 3 levels. It typically is going to have how many levels? 3 levels. I will tell you how many levels. First one, organization. Only one and only one. Second one, divisions. What do you mean by divisions? Only one or multiple? Multiple connected to organization. Connected to organization. Divisions are connected to organization. Okay. And next one. What is the next one? Third one? Unit. In the real world, it is not only related to Pega. This is universal concept. Units. Multiple. Connected to divisions. Connected to. I will tell you one simple example before I go ahead and proceed. Okay. See, any business in this world is going to be divided into an organization structure where it will have organization one and only and multiple divisions and multiple units. Divisions are all connected to organization. Units are connected to division 1, some other units to division 2, some other units to division 3, like that. I'll tell you one simple example, 2 examples I'll tell you. First example, we will take movie making business. Movie making business. You know, you watch movies, right? So that you can understand easily. Movie making business. In a movie making business, there will be a business owner called as production house. Production house is going to produce the movie. They are the actual organization. Organization is the place where everything is going to be, investments will be done generally. Okay, main core components will come from organization only. Core product will come from generally organization. Okay, I'll tell you more about this technically later also. Okay, but listen to me, in real world I am talking about. So organization is a topmost level. If you draw a tree structure, I'll show you one diagram also. Organization structure, tree structure I'll show you. Okay, organization structure. Okay, I will open this with paint. So if you draw like a tree diagram, this is how it looks like. One organization will be there at the top, under which you'll have divisions connected to it. Under each division, it can have one or more units. Please mute someone. Okay, one or more units. Keep this in mind. Now, just imagine that this is organization structure. We have production house. They have produced a movie. Now, second level, divisions. Divisions are distributors. Okay, if a movie is being produced, please mute. That is disturbing others. Someone, please. I'm going to mute from my end. Hold on. This person, someone, not me, other person. Mute everybody. Am I audible now? Am I audible clearly, everyone? Please confirm. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now see, just imagine in your mind. Okay, movie production house. Below that, divisions are there. What are the divisions which are really connected or tied up with movie production house? Those are called as distributors. When a movie is being produced, it will not be sold to end users. Who are end users? Audience. We are the end users. Production house never sells the movie directly to end users. It will go and contact distributors. It will give the product to distributors. Okay. Now distributors are connected to cinemas. Cinemas means your theaters. So distributors are connected to n number of theater. See, so production house is going to send it to distributors. Distributors are there region wise. Suppose you have 5 regions, 5 distributors will be there. These 5 regions are connected to production house. Each region has Each region may have n number of cinema theaters in the region. Yes or no? Now cinema theaters of specific region will take the product from movie from respective distributor and show that in their cinemas, okay, theaters, where audience are going to purchase the movie. Audience are going to purchase the subscription of the movie from cinema theaters. That is unit level. Cinema theater is a unit level. Now out of the three levels, organization, division and unit, where in which level the actual business transaction is running, that's the point we need to understand here. See, why you are creating your business? You are creating your business to sell something. In order to sell something, correct? You want to sell what? Your movie. You have created one product, you want to sell the product. So that sales can happen. When sales happens, that's the actual business transaction which is going to generate revenue for you. That is happening at organization or division or unit. In which level out of these three actual sales are happening, which we consider as a transaction? Can you tell me which level? Organization, division, unit, with the example of cinema theater.
Unit.
Unit level.
Unit level. Which level? Unit level. Unit level is the one where you are reaching out to end user and selling the product. That's where actual revenue is getting generated. From there only everyone will be sharing it, correct? So this is a universal concept. So everywhere same thing. Organization, division, unit. I'll tell you another example. Like you take a car manufacturing company, Tesla. Tesla is a car manufacturing company. They manufacture so many companies. In Tesla company, the final car product will be out generally. Okay. If you directly go to Tesla company and ask them, I want to purchase a car, they will not sell you, because they are producers only. Okay. There is a product, that is a production house only. They will guide you. Okay. You might find a distributor in your region. Go to your distributor. Suppose you go to distributor and ask them, I want to purchase a car. Distributor also will not sell you. Distributor will guide you. Sir, please go to an outlet center which is available in your hometown or city. Okay, in your town or city, somewhere you find outlet. The outlet people are the only one who are authorized to sell the cars. We are not authorized. We will take from Tesla. We are not authorized to sell it to end users. We will give it to outlets. Outlets are responsible for selling. Go to outlet, you will be purchasing the car. That's where actual business transaction. Now Tesla car house, and then distributors, and then outlet, which is a unit level outlet. There actual sales are happening. Unit can have subunits. Unit can have possible. It is possible. Okay. But the thing is that you need to understand unit level is the one, third level, org dev unit. Org dev unit, unit level is the one where actual business transactions are going to happen. If Tesla is going to sell his own car, Tesla should act as a unit. By themselves, they have to set up a unit. Without that, Tesla production house should not sell. Nowhere in this world this type of business is going to happen. Tesla should themselves sell to their distributor, where distributors are also self, plus they will have outlets. They are themselves outlet, they have to sell, but structure should be there for sure. Okay, make sense? Okay, but you find it like Tesla selling. Actually Tesla won't take that much risk. Definitely there will be a third party. They will promote it like Tesla only. A small name you can see under the emblem of Tesla backside, Varun Motors or something, you will see. Okay, that outlet names they will not print it on car. Harsha Toyota, Varun Motor, Jayberry Auto, these are all what? But you will not see these names on the cars. You will see only Maruti, these things only you will see. But actual outlet vendors you will not see. Okay. So, okay. That's okay. No problem. This is the organization structure where you need to understand one thing called unit level. Then what is the purpose of organization and division? Organization division supplies the components to unit. I'll tell you by this diagram. See, in an organization, if there is a component available at organization, which can be commonly accessed into all divisions and all units. You need to understand this point. This is inheritance, the next topic we are going to discuss about. If a component is available at organization, simply for your better understanding, I'm going to tell you. Tesla has announced company-wide, everyone is going to get 5% of bonus next month. Means it is applicable to Tesla cars. Okay, it is applicable to Tesla internet services. It is applicable to Tesla rocket services. Whatever the service you are working in, whatever the division you are working in, 5% of bonus next month, because Tesla CEO announced. Entire Tesla level, everyone. That means where he announced organization level, there is an announcement made saying that we are going to give you 5% of bonus next month on top of your salary. 10%, 5%, 25%, whatever it is. Suppose the same announcement is made only in the Tesla cars division, not in Tesla rockets, space side they did not announce, and internet side they did not announce. Only Tesla cars. In car manufacturing industry of Tesla, whoever is working, they will get 25%. Now only division and connected units will get the policy applied. Remaining people, they will not be applied. So if a component is available at division, accessible in division plus connected units. If a component is available at unit, only applicable to unit. Tesla said that Tesla has manufacturing of personal use of cars. Also, let's say consider heavy trucks are there. They will also manufacturing heavy trucks. Or public transportation buses. Public transportation buses are different. Personal use auto is different. Cars are different. In personal cars manufacturing only, they announced you will get 25% of bonus. It is not applicable to people who are working in manufacturing public services auto. Okay, like that, where is the component available? Component, if it is available at organization level, accessible, entire business, everywhere, from one corner to another corner, everywhere it is available. This is what practically we are going to learn in the development. If a component is available in division, only in that division plus below units it will be accessible. If component is available at unit, it will be accessible only in the unit. This is inheritance concept. I'll explain you tomorrow. Okay, clear everyone? So are you clear, every one of you? Just for your information, I told you, but the concept which I have explained, no, this is universal concept irrespective of Pega. You're working on Pega, you're working on Salesforce, you're working on Java, anywhere you're working, this universal concept will be there. Okay, this we are going to apply to use or implement in our application. Okay, so what is that we are going to learn further in our development process, theoretically plus development practically? What are the things we are going to learn going forward? I'll explain you now. November 19, tomorrow. That means tomorrow. See here. Before we proceed further, I'm going to explain you these things. First one, object oriented programming system. These are called concept. This is called as, I'm going to explain you the concepts of object oriented programming system, because that concepts we are going to use in Pega, not a coding level, coding thing. Concept we are going to use. What are those concepts? I'm going to tell you. Now, encapsulation. I'll explain you what is encapsulation. And class. Class. It is not a concept, it is an implementation. I'll tell you. Third one, inheritance. What is that? Inheritance or types. I'm not going to explain here. Fourth one, inheritance and its types in Pega. Up to 3 universal concepts. Fourth one is related to specifically Pega, how it exists. Once we understand these things, we are good to proceed to work on development part. We are good to proceed to work on our further development of creating our user interface screen. When we start our development further, the first thing we are going to work on is user interface development, later business logic and database. So for that to learn, before we proceed, we are going to have a strong foundation built to understand the object oriented programming concepts only. It's easy to understand. I'll tell you in real life, parent child relationship, father children. Okay, with like that, I'll tell you in real life, I'll explain you. Without knowing this, you cannot work on Pega. It's not good to go ahead and proceed to work on Pega without knowing these things. Okay, the first 3 are object-oriented programming concept, which we'll be implementing in Pega. The last one is implementation of third point in Pega and its types, how Pega is having all those things. Okay. See, Pega's main intention is, without knowing all these things, you do the development. That's the main intention of Pega. App Studio main purpose is, you should not even have a knowledge of single technical thing. Without having knowledge about single technical thing, you do development of your application. That's the main motive behind introducing App Studio 3 years, 2.5 years back. It will take time to complete that. But without that, if you want to develop applications as of today, it is impossible, because you need to work on PRPC environment. PRPC environment as a developer, you need to understand its design and do develop. Why that is? Because there are some requirements which deals with understanding the PRPC's internal database design also, but you will never code anything, but you need that technical exposure of the architecture of Pega. That's why Pega has decided one thing. It's not like this. We'll divide Dev Studio into two. Dev Studio, from that you extract something which is possible to do without technical knowledge, make it as App Studio, and only requirements to develop which are related to Pega design. So go ahead and give it to LSAs. That's why they are making it divided. Okay. So going forward, development is going to be even much easier compared to today. Okay. Does it have the concept of abstraction and polymorphism? Yeah, it has. I did not list it here because I will be working on that later. Okay. So abstraction, I'll tell you here. Third one, types of classes. Types of classes, not third one actually. I will tell you the types of classes here as a fourth one and fifth one here. This one. Yes. Okay. So in here, polymorphism, I'll tell you maybe after 1.5 months is completed. When we come across, I'll tell you. Immediately we'll not be looking into it. Okay. So clear, makes sense everyone? So this is what we are going to learn tomorrow. Do not miss tomorrow session at any cost, because tomorrow session, whatever we discuss, we will apply these things in our everyday day-to-day development. Not only one day, from beginning to till ending, we will apply this. When you are applying, if you don't understand, so one session is going to impact all the rest of the Pega PRPC learning. So make sure that you are not going to miss tomorrow session at any cost. Okay. Make sense? Clear, every one of you? So today we have created implementation application. After that, we understood about App Studio, Dev Studio, just a high level. You did not experience it, got some idea. Okay. So if you don't have App Studio, you can develop everything using Dev Studio. From Dev Studio, some part is being developed as App Studio. That's it. Even much easier way, you will experience it practically. Okay. And Dev Studio, they are going to make it only for the purpose of LSAs in future. App Studio is for the purpose of CSA plus CSS. Even LSA can also use, but purely LSA, if you want to be a lead system architect, you might be working in Dev Studio on complex requirements. Okay, which deals with Pega design. That you will be learning here. At level you will be learning, no worries. Okay, make sense? Clear, everyone? Online students.
Sure.
So your App Studio is going to completely eliminate the need of activity. There is a rule called activity, but without that, it is not possible to develop applications full-fledged. You will be learning activities also. Maybe after 2 to 3, maybe after 4 or 5 years, maybe activities will get reduced completely. As of today, they were unable to reduce. Some sort of rule which deals with so much of development in Pega. Okay, considering Pega rules, process, command, design, and all. Okay. So do you have any doubts or any questions? Anyone has any doubts, any questions?
Yeah, Harsha, I have one question. Amit, this side here.
Go ahead, please.
So, as we walk through with that, and App Studio is having the limited functionalities as of now, and it has got a limited features incorporated. So,
As of
uh, in, yeah, in a current world actually. So when it comes to the development using Pega, we basically use development using the Dev Studio, and we use the development by using App Studio, and then we switch between the studios and do the rest of the development that is not actually
yes,
incorporated in App Studio.
whatever is possible to do by App Studio, prefer to do it by App Studio. That's what I told you. By working with 24.2, take yourself a promise that you use App Studio only, even though you can do it in both studios, because people are using Dev Studio since long back. They tend to use Dev Studio only. They will not try to experience the new one. So that's why I told you that you promise yourself that you want to do only by using App Studio. Not possible, then only switch to Dev Studio and do it. See, from 1 to n, whatever you are doing in App Studio can be done in Dev Studio for sure. Whatever you do in Dev Studio, not possible to do in App Studio. Because it is possible in App Studio plus Dev Studio, you always tend to work on Dev Studio, because in today's world, imagine that there are around 10,000 Pega developers, for example. 9,990 members, they will use Dev Studio only, because they have habituated to Dev Studio. They will use Dev Studio, they'll work on Dev Studio only. Even though it can be done in App Studio, they don't do it. Why? Because since many years they have habituated to Dev Studio. But going forward, damn sure Dev Studio will have restrictions in the project. That's why I am telling all of you, considering the future, start using App Studio as much as possible. Okay, we will be doing that in our regular day-to-day development. You will switch from app to dev whenever a customization is needed. Okay, you'll be able to understand it going forward. Okay, clear? Make sense? CI/CD tools are separate course. That is a DevOps course that will not be covered here. That's a different course completely. Yeah. Next, any doubts? Any questions? Anyone else has?
I created one operator ID, but I forgot the password. How can we
I
recover?
have given you. Did I share you any document to change the
Oh.
password if you forget the operator ID? Just give me 1 minute. Your batch number is 622, right?
Yes.
I did not attach anything. Okay, I will attach one document now. Just give me 1 minute. My team will share you. Last time I have shown you how to change,
Yes.
but I will see a documentation of the same so that you can follow it and modify the password.
Harsha, so like when we are learning Pega and we want to go for interview, so do we need to learn CI/CD also, or only Pega is sufficient?
See, Pega developers, they don't know CI/CD as of now. Don't worry, that will be used by admins. That is a one-time task to integrate, will be done by tech leads. You don't have to know it. Don't worry.
But Harsha,
And Pega CI/CD is not up to the mark when you compare to other DevOps tools.
okay, but one question. So I see that most of the requirements are asking for CI/CD as well, even for the.
That's what. See, when a requirement is posted, generally, if you are a company,
Right.
okay, you want to hire someone. Whom you will hire? You want to always hire someone who knows everything. Though you
Yeah.
are not going to have that much work here, you will post everything in the job description. Don't stop yourself by job descriptions. Whatever you know, whatever the
Just
description.
me. I mean, I'm just
Interviewers
asking.
also should know, right, to ask you questions. 99% of developers today, they don't know CI/CD. You don't have to worry about it. They will mention. How to change password, right? I have to share you how to change password. Where is it? How to change password? Somewhere I should have it. Is it in useful documents or something?
But I think in second class or third class, you showed us how to do that. So,
I showed you, but I wanted to share the document also. Maybe you cannot remember, but if you follow that video, you can do it. Okay. If you follow the video, you can do it. But still, I just wanted to find out the document and share you. Okay, where is it? Installation oops, inheritance predefined, ordination, Pega's process commander. I think somewhere I should have placed it. Okay, I'll find out and share you, no problem. Okay, my team will be sending you in your WhatsApp for today. And please finish your fees payments. That's a request to every one of you. Okay, I'll find out and tell you, because now if I try, I cannot find it, I know. So up to this, I'm posting. In a few minutes, I'll be posting that here. My team will be sending you. Okay. So I'm going to close the meeting. And how to change password of an operator. That's what I'm trying to tell you since I'm just trying to find out the same. I'm in process of finding the document. I told you this before, but I'm going to find out the documents.
In Friday session, you shared how to change the password.
Oh, is it something I shared up?
Yeah, yeah. On last session only you shared it.
Where is it? I showed you, but did I share the
Created
document?
document, but not shared, I think so.
No, you
No, I
haven't
did not
shared the
create.
document.
I did not create it because I have a document already available. That's why I do not create the documents regularly. It must be available. I'll share. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. Okay, I'll find out. It should be there in my backup in the previous batches, definitely. Okay, I'll find out from the previous batch. Otherwise, 622 is your batch, right? 621 maybe. Blueprint and all. I'll tell you. No worries. Blueprint is something which is it's 24.2. I told now. 24.2. While teaching 24.2, I'll be telling you. Yeah, you can exit the meeting. You don't have to wait for me. You can exit the meeting. No worries. You don't have to wait for
Yeah,
me.
thank you.
Yeah, you can
Thank
exit
you.
the meeting and you can leave for today. We'll continue tomorrow. I'll find out the document and give you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
After one question, this CICD we are
Yes.
going to touch base after the future classes.
No, no. Come again. Your voice is not audible. Come closer to mic and speak a little bit loud, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, come closer to mic, please, and speak a little bit loud. You can
Hi
type it.
Harsha.
Yes, please.
Tomorrow is the same meeting link. Our link is going to change.
I don't know. I need to check with the admins. Just send them a message.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Harsha.
Yes, please.
Yeah, do you need to learn database for the Pega?
No, no, not required. I'll tell you, no. I'll tell you the basic things of database and I'll show you what columns are important and all. I'll tell you. No need to bother about learning database, SQL queries and all. You don't have to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir. The
Good
CICD
Yes,
morning.
we
please.
are going to touch base on future classes.
Come again?
Yeah, we are going to touch base the CICD related to the Pega. We are going to touch base in future classes.
Never. Never. That's not part of Pega, first of all. That's part of something else. That's a separate course. It's not like in CSA course, if you find CSCD fully, it will be available. No. They will already integrate. That's if you see in PDN, it's a separate course.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, sir.
No, you will do very little in the CICD. In real time, tech leads will do very little.
Sir, am I audible?
Sure.
Yes, you are
Sure.
audible. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sir, you were teaching today OOPS concepts, so we really need to thorough through OOPS concepts and do that
I'll tell you,
programming and
no,
coding?
no coding, nothing. No coding. Concept wise, you need to understand. No coding. Coding
Okay.
is not it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll find the document and send you. No worries. You can wind up for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Any question? Tomorrow, same meeting link. You need to ask them. Okay. Thank you.